Alrighty, what's going on, Jenna Webs? Got a used head over here, bought brand new valves, okay, intake and exhaust valve. I'm busy right now with the intake valve for the carburetor side. This is for the exhaust, the small side. What we need to do over here is we need to make sure that these brand new valves is going to mate with this used head. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to use some valve lapping compound, okay, we're going to use some of this grinding compound. Okay, see there was the Loctite valve grinding compound. This is the coarse, this is the rough one. I finished now with the rough one. I'll be going on the fine one over here. For this job you'll be needing one of these tools, alright, to install the, how do I say this, you know, the valve springs, and then again the collets. Okay, without this tool it's basically going to be virtually impossible. And I highly suggest that you have a magnet so you can pick up these little collets, okay, to put it in position. Anyhow, the whole idea of this is brand new valves with a used head, right? So we need to make sure that these valves mate with this surface over here. Whole being is, if these valves, if there's an air leak, what's going to happen is motorcycles will struggle to start. Motorcycles going to cut out while you're riding. You're basically going to have motorcycle is going to, how do I say, not idle properly. Your RPM is going to be all over the bloody place, and of course you're going to have air leak. That'll lead to compression loss. Right, your motorcycle will not run properly, smoothly. Okay, so there's three little factors I just mentioned over there. Take some of this fine. What do we do? Do not get the compound on this valve stem over here, because that can damage the valve stem and damage the valve seal. Okay, I'm busy now on the fine course. As I said before, this is how do I say, this is the coarse one, it's the rough one, and this is the fine one. Okay, put a little bit on here, and then I'm going to take my battery gun. I need to make sure that these two surfaces mate properly, otherwise there's going to be a leak. Alright, I'll wipe my hands off over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my battery gun and I'm going to install it to the valve stem over here, and I'm going to rotate it. The whole idea is to get those two mating surfaces as tight and as close as possible. I would suggest that you use a magnifying glass, right? And also the thing is, you're watching a YouTube video and doing it yourself is two different things. Okay, put the video on pause quickly and show you as we go along. Okay, some people might say this is not the professional way of doing it. You must actually use the suction cup from behind and rub like pretending like you're making a fire. Okay, but I'm not going to do that. It's going to take too fucking long. As you can see over here, I've locked my battery gun over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to in and out with this thing. Remove the valve. I remove this, remove the valve, clean it up, and put some more fine of the grinding compound on there. I need to get that surface as clean as possible. Right, basically going to use a magnifying glass to make sure all little scoring and markings is away from the valve stem. Alright, okay, from the, how do I say, the shoe itself. Right, the video on pause and show you as we go along. Okay. Alrighty, just remove the valve, clean off the compound, clean off the valves seat over there. Don't know if you can see it there. Not the first ring, the second ring. Right, all I do is to check that the whole ring is even. I would suggest that you use a magnifying glass. Magnifying glass will tell you wonders. Will tell you where you're at. Okay. Let's just have a look there. I'll show you a little test that I'm going to do to make sure that this thing is no leaks. Right, we're going to be using a syringe. I actually have a syringe over here. What I'm going to do is, once I'm happy with my valve seating, I'm going to flip this thing over. I'm going to fit the valves and the valve springs as I would when I'm doing assembling, and I'm going to throw in the intake and the exhaust valve here to see that this gasoline or petrol does not leak. If the petrol does leak, then I have to start from scratch again. Then I have to use my tool, loosey the stuff, and do some valve lapping. I'm going to show you one thing. Valve lapping is not as easy as it looks watching a YouTube video. I don't know if you can see it over there. Okay, my camera view there. Alright, if I take my magnifying glass, I can see virtually new, how do I say, I don't know if you can see it over there. Not the best of best. Let's try to get a picture and see what we can see. You basically want to remove all the scratches, all those little scratches. You do not want to have any scratches on that surface. Alright, obviously the scratches and dips and things, it's going to create an air leak. Right, you see that over there, scoring is all gone. Right, next one, I'm going to start with the exhaust valve. I'm happy so far with this. I'm going to take the smaller valve, I'm going to put on I'm going to be using the coarse. Alright, this is the rough one, for about 3 or 4 times. Once I'm happy with that, removed all the scratches and whatever, then I'm going to go to the fine coarse. Alright, okay, put the video on pause and show you as we go along. Maybe you guys stick around and subscribe, who knows. Alrighty, let's just see how the battery gun works. Some of you can use that bloody fucking suction cup thing if you want to. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'll be using my bloody battery gun over here. Right, so what you're basically doing, you're going to come in and out, in and out, in and out with this thing. Okay. See what I'm doing? In and out, in and out, in and out of this thing. Okay. Put the light on here. You can see. This I want to do until I'm happy with this, as I said before. My magnifying glass is showing me everything. Alright, I'm basically going to remove all the scratches and scoring from that valve seat. Alright, so this thing can mate properly and seal off the opening and closing of the valves. Okay. Alrighty, thanks to my magnifying glass, I have removed all the scoring and all the scratches on the valve seat itself, on the valve itself, and again on the seat itself. Alright. Don't try to make it all shiny and shit. Keep in mind that this, especially this, is a used head. I don't know what the previous owner did with this thing. I'm not sure how many times he has done valve lapping on this. So I don't want to go and try to make it all shiny and stuff, because after 2-3 days, that shiny surface that you've made out of there will just go all black again. Anyhow, if you're going to try to make it as shiny as the other little videos online, what's going to happen is you're going to have problems. You will see here, there's 1, 2, 3, there's about 4 angles. Alright, 4 angles. Those are for the, how do I say, the escapation of the exhaust fumes. Another one is, the big one here is for the, how do I say, the intake valve. That's for the air and fuel mixture. Alright, you're going to be valve lapping too much on this. What's going to happen is you're going to be changing the demographics of the engine performance. Alright, and that could make problems. Alright, so you really do not want to go overboard and try to make this all shiny and stuff like some of the videos online, because keep in mind, this is a used head. You know what I'm saying? These are brand new valves, so I just want to get it to mate properly. I'm not worried about the shininess. Alright, I have used a magnifying glass and I have inspected my as you can see, the one over there, the dark one over there. Alright, I don't even see it. The dark one, that's obviously the valve seat, head seat. Alright, you see the one over here. Let's just go over there. You'll see the dark one over there, the dark outline. That's obviously the valve seat. Alright, the head seat. Alright, so alright, I'm going to be using that span on there, this tool over here, to get on the valves. Keep in mind that these valves are directional. Alright, you'll see the painted side. The painted side goes to the top. Okay, let's just quickly flip this thing over and I'll show you. Let's just install these valves here. Yeah. Right, that one, it's a big one. Sorry, that one. I'm going to stand up for this. I'm a bit lazy. Okay, let's install that one there. Okay, let's just pick this thing up. As you can see, I don't have one of those fancy stands. Okay, and then we're going to do a leak down test. Alright, leak down test is to see if my valves are seated properly or mated properly. I'm going to use that syringe on there. Alright, I'll show you. Right, you'll see these valves, doesn't matter which one goes where. Let's just put on this, let me do it on pause quickly. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, these valve springs, right, that washer is down at the bottom over there. This is the top, painted side to the top. We do 1 for 1, and then we're going to take this collet over here, put it on there, that washer there, and then we're going to put on these collets. But you're going to need this machine on here, this little tool over here. And of course you're going to need a, how do I say, a magnet. Here's the magnet over here. Just to position those collets in the correct place. Put the video on pause and show as we go along, okay? Alrighty, as you can see, I just fitted my tool on here. As you can see, it's pressing up against there. This is basically like a fucking clamp. Now I need to drop in those collets over there. Once I'm happy with the positioning of that, I can loosey this, right? Put the video on pause, because I really cannot hold the camera and install those things. Alrighty, I just fitted the fucking valve springs and the collets and stuff. You'll see that the gap is not even, right? That gap has to be even. This gap is not even as well, right? What I have to do is I'm going to take a socket and very lightly tap it so I can get those gaps evenly, alright? It has to be evenly because there's a good chance it could jump loose, alright? Let's put the video on pause. You need a hammer for this socket, but don't knock it too hard. Otherwise, you're going to have to use the bloody tool to install this, and that's, especially like myself, I don't do this every day, so it does take a bit of time. It took me like 5 minutes or something. But someone who does this every bloody day, it'll take him a bloody minute. Put the video on pause, alright, and show you how I move those, make those gaps even, okay, with my hammer and my socket. Alrighty, like I said before, I use my socket and tap lightly. It's just to get those gaps there even, right? If those gaps are not even, there's a good chance that those collets could jump loose, alright? And of course we're back to square one again, alright? Let's just check this side over here. Okay, there we go. That's good to go. Let's do our leak down test on our head to make sure that our valves are seated properly on our head, alright, on our replacement head. Put the video on pause and show as we go along. Don't have to go overboard. We basically want to tilt this thing over, not too much because otherwise it's going to spill out over there. And if you feel any leaks, any wetness from fuel, then you'll know that your valve seating is not done correctly. Then you basically have to start from scratch. That feels good. Alright, that feels very nice. Very nice. Not running out. Okay, no fuel running out there. Okay, not that I can see off. Tilt it a little bit. I need to tilt it some more here. Just feel my hand. It's good to go. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Okay, let's just throw out the excess here. Okay, there we go. So at least I know now the exhaust side is fine. Let's just take now the intake side. I'm going to throw some in here. This is basically just like a leak down test, same thing, right? Just to make sure that our valve seats are seating properly. Right, let's just not tilt too much, otherwise the fuel's going to fall out. And that is good to go. I don't feel any leaks. That's good.